I refuse to give my bed to my pregnant stepsister. Now my whole family's mad at me.
Well, maybe she shouldn't have got pregnant in the first place.
Don't know if that's the take. March 10th, 2025. I, 26 male, rent a small 2-bedroom apartment. I live alone, but I use the second bedroom as my office because I work from home full time. My older sister, Lily, 31 female, is 6 months pregnant and soon to be a single mother. By the way, this comes from user Silence Fiction, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. She has some issues with her apartment, in a disagreement with her landlord, and in the process of moving out. So she asked if she could stay with me for a few weeks. Of course, I said yes, and that I would be happy to accommodate her for as long as she needs. She moved in last weekend, and the first thing she did when settling in was pointing towards my bed and saying, "I'll take this one." I laughed, thinking she was joking. Imagine they did hit the Joker laugh like that. Only later in the evening, when I asked her if she needs anything else before going to bed, did she mention that she was not joking about wanting to sleep in my bed. Now, I'm a little bit of a germaphobe, and I am quite uncomfortable with the idea of other people sleeping in my bed. I told her that I am uncomfortable letting anyone else sleep in my bed, but I will gladly set her up with my guest bed, which I did used to sleep on before buying my current bed, and I know for a fact is very comfortable and spacious. How are we feeling right now, Riley?
You wanted that bed. Sorry, it's taken. Here's another bed. Solved.
So, then she started guilt-tripping me, saying that since she got pregnant and she's having problems falling asleep, that she needs the bigger, more comfortable bed. I stood my ground and told her I was happy to accommodate her, but I wasn't giving up my bedroom. She sulked, but she took the guest bed. That lasted exactly 2 nights before she started complaining that the bed was too stiff and that she couldn't sleep. I offered to buy a new mattress topper, but she refused. Instead, she tried to pull the "you're my brother, you should want to make me comfortable" guilt trip again. I told her that she's lucky I can even take her in since I work 10 hours a day from home and I do value having a work environment that's private, calm, and quiet. She called me selfish and accused me of not caring about her or her baby. I told her she could take the couch if the guest bed was that unbearable. Well, she did, but exactly for 1 night before turning into an absolute menace. In the second night on the couch, she made sure to sigh loudly all night, accidentally bump into things, and complain the next morning how horrible I was making her feel. The following day, she kept making calls and talking loudly on the phone while I was working. I didn't pay attention to the actual calls and what she was saying, but later it became very clear. In the evening, I started getting phone calls from most, if not all, of my family members. Apparently, she was ranting all day on the phone to my family about how rude and how horrible I was, saying I was trying to make her feel bad and trying to get my family to put pressure on me just to let her sleep in my bed, like she's on a mission or something.
Hey, Uncle Steve, could you send me your email? Oh, hey, Aunt Kate, could you send me your email? Get an email list. Hello, everyone. Just wanted to take ahead of some rumors that are going around. So this is what happened. This is what I did. If you would like to donate for my sister to get a better mattress, donate here. Get her another mattress. If everyone's going to be complaining to you, then they should step up and do something. You've already did a lot.
Right. As soon as he was like, "I'll buy you whatever you need to make this other bed comfortable," and she's like, "No," that's when I was like, all right, now everyone kind of sucks in this story. If I was the pregnant sister, right, and I'm 6 months pregnant, like I'm in a dispute with my landlord, I don't have anywhere else, so I'm leaning on my brother. And my brother goes, "You're even lucky that I let you in because I value peace and tranquility in my working environment." I'd be like, I'm going to leave. I don't want to stay where I'm not wanted, dude. And saying that, get over yourself, bro. What are you doing?
I think he said that in regards, she's like, "You're not making me feel comfortable. You're not giving me the bed I want. You're not giving me what I want." I understand that she's pregnant. She does deserve to be comfortable. But OP took her in, gave her a comfortable bed that he used to sleep in. I think the sister's being a little overreacted.
My mom took her side and tore me a new one on the phone saying Lily is carrying a child and I'm being inconsiderate. She also said, "I thought I taught you better hospitality than this." I am very disappointed. My aunt called to tell me that my uncle, her husband, used to sleep on the couch and sometimes on the floor next to her when she was pregnant. Even my cousin, who I haven't spoken to in like 2 years, called me to tell me I'm being selfish. I agree with all of them. I'm sorry.
I think she's asking for a lot here. I know she doesn't have a lot of options, but you got a bed. Keon, what do you think?
I would have a genuine conversation with my sister and be like, "Hey, can you get your own bed? If you really need to get my bed, you can have it for like a week, but then get your own bed. Like a couple days. Not like right off the bat. I'll give the bed for maybe like a couple of days and like, hey, you got pregnant. How about to have your partner buy you a better bed? It's not my job to take care of you. Like, yes, I'll take care of you, but it's not my job. I'm not the father of your child.
Well, I don't think he's taking care of her. This is another ice swan situation. So my father is taking my side, telling me to ignore them and that my sister is an F up, that she got in that situation in the first place. Again, like, I feel like there's a lot of layers as to why they're interacting this way. She's going to be a single parent. She probably is not in touch with the father. So there's probably a lot of shame being directed at her from OP and the dad. You know, I don't know. There's a lot going on here. It would just be so chill. I'd be like, yeah, I guess. Sleep in the bed, pregnant sister. You're not going to be here forever. You're going to be here temporarily, regardless.
What about when the baby's born?
She's not living here when the baby's born. I'm not taking care of your baby. That's not on the agenda. I'm not becoming the father of the child. But I feel like my mom is giving him a super hard time in the background because he did sound kind of hesitant when I asked him to have my back. Honestly, I'm just feeling like I'm in the middle of a soap opera drama. My mom is threatening to come take Lily home. Yeah, like that's much of a threat, haha. But she's giving me such a hard time and telling me I disappointed her and that she raised me better. I don't know how to feel about this anymore. Don't feel anything about it. Let your mom take care of her. Am I the a-hole for not letting my pregnant sister sleep in my bed? OP was voted not the a-hole. Here are some top comments. That is a-hole statement.
That's what's happening. Everyone but OP sucks here.
All I have to say is it was your choice to get pregnant. If you are pregnant, great. We'll help you. But you are not queen or king of the castle. You do not get all the accommodations. You can get some help, you know, but that is also up to your partner or whoever, you know, is helping you.
Comment number 1, not the a-hole. Tell your sister your mom has offered to let her stay, so please pack your bags if the guest bed is uncomfortable. Everyone who has called, call them back and ask when they intended to pick your sister up and have her stay with them. Comment 2, get her out of your house ASAP. You're going to end up with her in your room, baby in the guest room, and you're going to be sleeping on the couch. Check your lease and tenancy laws. Do not let her use your address for mail. Seriously, get her out before she gives birth. Ship her off to mom. Was that the plan the whole time? Was the plan for her to just like live there forever? Because if that's the plan, that's not happening. Comment 3, I offered you a place to live, and you have returned that favor by turning a bunch of flying monkeys on me so you can steal my bed on top of the rest of my home. You are disrupting my work and my life. I expect you to be out tomorrow. Maybe one of your flying monkeys will take you in, not the a-hole. Comment 4, not the a-hole, and I would just say, oh sure, that's a perfect plan. You can come tomorrow and pick her up and take her home. I'm sure she will be much more comfortable there than at my place. Why didn't you offer this before knowing how small my place was and knowing that conflicts would happen? But yeah, go ahead, pick her up, because if she continues to disturb my work, well, I don't know how long she can stay in this house in general. I would like to answer a few common questions I saw in the comments. The guest bed is in the living room. It's stored in the second bedroom, which is my office, but whenever I have a guest, I set it up in the living room. The living room space is quite big and can comfortably fit the guest bed, couch, and living room table as well. My parents live a 4.5-hour drive away, and they are the closest family members to my apartment. That is why I didn't initially think of suggesting anyone to come and pick Lily up to take her to their place. I, in fact, did not get my sister pregnant. What the F, guys? Lily is moving out of her current apartment because it is being sold, and the new owners aren't sure if they want to keep renting it. So the reason that she's getting kicked out isn't even her fault. It's not like she's like behind on rent, or it's just the property's being sold out from underneath her and she is in the middle of it.
No sympathy for the single mother. Oh, you're a single mom? You got to get out of here.
The new owners aren't sure if they want to keep renting it or what to charge, so that's why she's moving out. Anyway, here is the update. My mother made the drive over yesterday. She came in quite furious, barely said a word to me, and wanted to just take Lily and leave ASAP. She had that cold, disappointed look on her face, and it broke my heart, honestly. I told them, Lily and my mother, that I wanted to talk and explain my side of the story. I would also like to hear this explanation. I told them both that I didn't want them to leave on bad terms. I sat them down in the living room and explained my side of things. I also decided to show them the original post, and it did help them calm down and made them second-guess their opinions. Also, I did believe they were quite embarrassed, judging by the looks on their face when I showed them the post, to see everything written out like that, but they didn't dare to say a word about it. In the end, they both agreed that my apartment is my personal space and also my workplace. and they understood why it was difficult for me to give up my bed. It wasn't totally smooth, though. They still gave me a bit of a hard time, saying that while they do understand my side now, I still could have been the bigger person and just let Lily sleep in my bed. At least they did drop the whole "you're selfish" act. As for the rest of the family, I demanded that my sister called each and every one of them to let them know my side and calm them down. Lily was reluctant at first, but my mother gave her the look, and eventually she came around and told me she'd do it on the drive back to my parents. I was honestly surprised she agreed. My aunt even called me today to apologize, and that was definitely unexpected and very satisfying. Lily is now staying with my parents, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if I get news in a few weeks with them ranting about her being entitled in their house. Can't wait to see how they'll handle that one. Hopefully, this is the last time I'll have to deal with this. Lily still needs to move her stuff from her old apartment, which is a 30-minute drive from me, so I know she's going to ask for my help. Not that I would mind. I'd be happy to help her, but I'm worried she might want to come stay at my place again or use my place to store some of her stuff, which you don't need to allow.
Hey, girl, there's a storage unit down the road. We could set you up with that.
Right? Yeah. Or it's like, why don't we take the stuff that you want to store here and store it at the place that you're going to stay at? And by the way, you can stay listening to full episodes with stories just like this on Spotify and iHeartRadio and Apple Podcasts. Wherever you listen to podcasts, just search OK Storytime, and there's 53 days worth of stories for you to listen to. Over 2,000 episodes, over 1,270 hours. Wow. There is a little bit more story here. I like where we're at. Do you have any closing thoughts on the situation?
Nah, we know where I lay. I'm just glad the parents stepped up and helped Lily out.
Yeah, that seemed like maybe it should have been the solution from the very beginning, especially because if OP really does have actual, germophobia, because some people are like, I'm a germaphobe, and then they'll just go like, achoo. You don't have germophobia. So if he really is a germaphobe, and she really did say like, I need your bed, and I refuse to hear anything else you have to say, it's like, OP's not being the a-hole there. However, the lack of sympathy for a pregnant sibling is very startling to me. Let's finish this story. Also, she might bring this whole thing up again, and I couldn't be asked to deal with it once again. That's a problem for another day, though. Hopefully not. Ha 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 ha. So in the end, I believe it turned out the best way possible. And I have you guys to thank for that. And we have some top comments here. Number 1, so naturally, your sister will be sleeping in your parents' bed, right? Since mom doesn't think it's a big deal. Okay, all kidding aside, you handled this perfectly. You were not the a-hole then, and you're still not the a-hole. Comment 2, amazing how busy work is going to be for the foreseeable future and all the tight deadlines you have, and get a coworker to back you up. But you can ask if anyone knows a good moving company, or just dodge her calls, and after she's moved, tell her you needed a break from her after all the drama she caused you. Warn your dad you're going to do this so he can get ready to handle it on his end. Most importantly, remember you don't owe her a thing right now. The way she treated you isn't how you treat family you value when they're doing you a favor. And also, what kind of idiot moves out but doesn't move their stuff? Talk about a preventable problem. Also, check your lease for any limits on how long guests can stay. Comment 3, still not the a-hole. I'm so glad you spoke to them and got the story straight. They sound like they think you're still in the wrong. I honestly would take a big step back from Lily and anyone who was disrespectful to you. Don't help Lily move. Don't help your 6-month pregnant sister move. She needs to figure it out on her own. You were nice enough to her, and she tried to take advantage of you. See, this kind of stuff is just like, stop it. It was a moment in time. Now we can move forward. You don't have to hold on to this grudge that she was annoying in your house forever. If your pregnant sister needs help moving her stuff and you want to help her, you can. There's no need to become vindictive over this, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Hey, you can't have everybody agree with you all the time. If I had a 6-month pregnant sister, I'd help her move. I don't care if she's annoying.
Seems like a lot, but it's the end of that story.
Yeah, that's the end of that story.